Mr. Impossible and the Easter Egg Hunt by Roger Hargreaves. Mr. Happy lives in a house beside a lake, and not long ago, just before Easter, he decided to have a picnic for all his friends. An Easter picnic on the shores of the lake. And to make the day special, he wanted to organise an Easter egg hunt. Although not an Easter egg hunt like the previous year when Mr. Lazy had hidden the eggs. Being the lazy fellow that he is, he had not hidden the eggs very well. No, not at all well. Mr. Happy wanted someone who could hide the eggs better than anyone else. And then he thought of Mr. Impossible. Mr. Impossible, as you might imagine, can do the impossible. The perfect person to hide the Easter eggs. And so, Mr. Impossible hid the eggs in impossible hiding places. Places you would never think of. Mr. Happy went to bed, a happy man. But in the middle of the night, Mr. Happy awoke with a terrible thought. What if nobody could find the Easter eggs? But it was too late to do anything about it. The picnic was the next day. All his friends arrived the next morning, and a worried Mr. Happy worried that his Easter egg hunt was going to be a disaster. Would any eggs be found? At first it seemed as though the Easter eggs were going to be impossible to find. But then Mr. Bump found the first one. He was so busy looking on the ground that he bumped into a tree, knocking down an egg hidden high in the branches. It fell on his head. Mr. Impossible had hidden one egg down a rabbit hole. Mr. Tickle's long arm found that one. There was a tiny egg hidden in the petals of a flower. Mr. Small found that one. Mr. Bounce found the one hidden behind the chimney pot. Mr. Strong found one hidden underneath a barn. And Mr. Tall found an Easter egg hidden, impossibly, in a cloud. Well done, cried Mr. Happy. I think you've all found the Easter eggs. Not quite, said Mr. Impossible. There's one more to find, and I bet nobody can find it. It's invisible. That's impossible, cried everyone in unison. Exactly, chuckled Mr. Impossible. And then a voice piped up. I find it! A voice seemingly out of nowhere. But not nowhere. It was nobody. Mr. Nobody. Well, said Mr. Happy, you were right, Mr. Impossible. Nobody did find it.